Another day of adventures with Wes and Jeff, and I am in Anchorage, and I'm getting ready to take this Lake and Penn Air flight over to Lake Clark National Park, which is in Port Alsworth, about 120 miles, air miles from Anchorage. No roads in or out, so this is going to be an experience today. So stick with me today and I'll show you the things to do at Lake Clark National Park. Lake and Penn Air, and we're going out of Anchorage and heading over to Port Alsworth for the day, and it's on this little bitty guy that holds about, I guess about 7 passengers or so. So this is going to be an adventure. Really looking forward to it. We're approaching the park. So I've arrived here at Port Alsworth here at Lake Clark National Park, and the terminal for Lake and Pen Air is right along this side, and you just have to walk down about a half a mile or so along the airstrip here, which is gravel, to the National Park Service. So I'm headed down to the National Park Service to get my maps and get my stamp and all of that, and then gonna go for my hikes up to the waterfall and to the lake. You're crossing a active runway here when you go over to the lake from the National Park Service Visitor Center. So you have to look both ways, up and down, just to make sure that no planes are trying to land on this gravel runway. It's kind of a huge step back in time, but it's such a great experience. It's a beautiful day today. I'm so looking forward to showing you the things to see and do here at this really cool park. Falls hike, which is a 4-mile round trip that is just outside of town at the end of the runway to the right. And I'm gonna go up and see the falls, as well as I'm going up to the big alpine lake there. It's called Kontrashibuna Lake. And so that's a half-day hike. I'm going to be hiking most of the day while I'm here. I'm only here from about 9 until 5. So a full day, but I'm going to plan on doing these hikes. The first one is to the falls. It's 4 miles, and then it's an additional mile and a half to the lake. So it's a spectacular lake. So that'll be 5.5 miles round trip to Kontrashibuna Lake. I'm going to show you here on the map. So right now, this is where we are down here at the visitor center, and at the end of the runway, here's the falls and the lake trailhead, and it slowly goes uphill until you get to the falls here, and then I'm going to continue on and go up to this lake. So, and Lake Clark is all along here. Absolutely beautiful. The falls are a 30-foot fall. Probably see wildflowers. Hopefully not a bear today, but the good folks at Lake and Penn Air gave me some bear spray that I could put on my hip just in case. But a lot of folks, they do the same trail. I'm going to do this trail on the way up to the lake, and then I'm going to take the Beaver Pond loop on the way back, which is easy enough to do. A lot of people will take this and they go all the way up to the top of Tanalian Mountain and all the way to the very tip of the top here, and that's 3,878 feet once you reach to the top of it. So it's going to be a great day. Hopefully going to have great weather for it. It's kind of right now, but there's some sun peeking through. So stick with me on these hikes and we'll see what there is to see and do. So as soon as you just climb about 50 feet, you get to the break off in the road, in the trails. So to the left is the Beaver Pond Trail, and to the right is the Tanalian Falls Trail. We'll go up this way and come back the other way. Get to this point where the wider road breaks off to the left, and there's a little ranger check-in station here where you can put your name and say where you're headed and how many are in your party, just so the rangers can keep track of you. So you get to this point and it starts to be a nice little view. I can see a float plane down there and Lake Clark, and then you walk over here, you're kind of at a little plateau finally, because it's quite an incline. And then this is the actual boundary for the national park. So down in town, you're not in Lake Clark National Park. It's only once you get to this point right here above town, about, I don't know, probably a half a mile or so on the trail, then you enter into the park boundary. So here's the park boundary right here. Okay. All right, just entered another park. Then you come up to the National Park Service, put in a nice little bench here on the corner just to take a break from your hike, because you just climbed up quite a ways up from the lake shore. So I just had to douse myself with some more mosquito spray. This is a lower area here where the Park Service put in this raised boardwalk. So there is some standing water, not right at this area, but along this trail. So quite a few mosquitoes just tried to attack me. I've been sweating, so it was time to reapply some of my bug spray. So it seemed to work. They're not bothering me anymore. They do have these black flies in Alaska, and they bite. It hurts. Jeff and I experienced that when we were at Katmai National Park. And once they do bite you, they like to get under where like your underpants strap is, or your elastic, and then it kind of makes a whelp, and it hurts for like a week. So, love Alaska, my favorite state, and I love hiking and exploring in Alaska. But those darn black flies, they can keep them. It's not good. Walk along the trail, the Tanalian mountain comes into view. So people hike all the way up to that. So that's 3,800 feet. So it's quite a little hike up there. Not doing that today. I'm just gonna go to the falls and up to the lake. But it's really beautiful. Totally quiet. So this is grizzly bear country. They have black bear and grizzly bears. So it's not advised to hike without making noise. I have my can and I'm making my noise with my can. A lot of people have bells, and definitely bring some bear spray. So I have my bear spray on my hip. I know how to use it in case I do get in trouble. But I'm making lots of noise, singing songs, talking to myself. So solo hiking today. I did see 4 guys earlier on down at the trailhead, but they were going on the Beaver trail loop, which I will do on my way back from the falls and the lake. So, it's smaller, younger growth of tree that I've encountered here, but it's a well-established trail. It is a very nice trail. You get to this point where there's a park bench here just off the trail, and it's up on the ridge, and I can hear the falls down below, and you can see off into the mountains. Beautiful. Still haven't seen a single person on this trail. So this is Lake Clark in the distance, and that's Beaver Pond there in the foreground. Beautiful. Along the trail, before you get to the falls, just off to the left is a nice viewing area. You can see majority of the lake, the mountain range behind it, and even Beaver Pond in the foreground. So there's a park bench here, and this is the view. So pretty and so serene. I've not run into anybody, and it's just all to myself. This is Lake Clark, Lake Clark National Park. Beautiful. As you get closer to that water, when the sun hits it just right, it's this bright turquoise color. But from up here, it doesn't have that glow to it right now. But yeah, that's a little island out there. Yeah. Pretty cool. Just absolutely gorgeous. End up having a great day. It said overcast and cloudy, but it's kind of cleared up enough. This is the point where you come to the split in the trail. So to the right is to the Tanalian Falls and also the Kontrashibuna Lake. Kontrashibuna. And then if you go to the left, you go back down the hill, and then you can go up to the Tanalian Mountain Trail, or it'll hook back in to the Beaver Pond Trail, which is what I will take on my way back out. So along the trail, I'm seeing, I think it's a grouse, I'm not sure. And she's got 2 babies. Let's see, it's the only wildlife that I've seen on the trail so far. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that that is a grouse. Oh, she's got 3 babies there. There's another one off to the left. Let's see if I can zoom in. Yeah, she looks like a chicken, but I'm pretty sure that's a grouse. Yeah, she's got 3 little babies. They don't seem to be very scared of me. The babies are like, oh, she's got 4 babies. Oh, look. And they flew. She looks like a chicken. For sure. She looks like a chicken. But she was very trusting there for a second with her babies. The babies were more skittish than she was. Oh, they can fly pretty good. Yeah. Oh, she's kind of fanning her tail. Look at that. Yeah. Hi there, Mama. Her mama and her baby, she said, I'm checking you out. I don't want you to be a threat to my babies. She said, I'm going to be the brave mother here. She does look like a chicken, but that's a grouse. There she goes. So still tracking this grouse and her babies. The babies kind of scattered and went over here into the trees, but she's right up there. If you can see her, she really blends in. Let's see. There she is. She's watching, but she's got pretty coloring. Yeah, look at you. Yeah. I'm not gonna bother her. I'm gonna keep going and just let her be with her babies. But she's making a noise. She's gonna call to her babies. But right here along the trail, right before you get to the falls. Tanalian Falls. Tanalian Falls. Mountains in the background. Beautiful. Here at Tanalian Falls, as you come down the trail, the main trail, right before you get to the falls, just turn right and go back along the tree line, and there's a shoreline. Watch your step because it is compromised in a couple spots, so don't fall. But this is a really good vantage point to capture the falls. And then there's another point down a little further, but this captures all of it. in its majestic beauty. So this is Tanalian Falls here at Lake Clark National Park. It's kind of cool that there's a little fall to the left as well. It's moving pretty good today. Lots of water. Crystal clear ice melt water here in Alaska. Just raging down through here. The lower portion of the Tanalian Falls, and that water, the mist is just coming off of it. It's so strong, but it's so beautiful. You come down to this edge, and this water is super cold because it is ice melt, glacier melt, and it is just a raging thunder. Not seen a single person on the trail. I have this waterfall to myself here at Lake Clark National Park. This is the lower part, and there's also an upper part that a viewing point. But they warn you, stay out of these waters. They're cold, number one. Number two, it's so swift. It's coming off of these rocks and just bouncing. So just enjoy this a second and then move on. Water is crystal clear, and out there it looks like sauna water, the way that it's just churning it and really raging down the river here. But beautiful. This waterfall is a 30-foot drop, so it's not tremendous, but it's very powerful. Beautiful waterfall back in here. Definitely do this hike if you come to Lake Clark National Park. You will really enjoy it. It's very refreshing after climbing up that hill and feeling the mist, that cool mist coming off of the water. You can see the mist there. All that churning water, that nice ice cold water. hear you. I see you. You're flagging your tail. She's trying to distract me away from her babies. Look at you. It's a grouse. I just left the Italian Falls, and I went to the lower and the upper. Now I'm headed up to the lake, and I'll probably have my lunch there, and then I'll head back and swing by the Beaver pond on my way back into town. But it's been really enjoyable. Haven't seen another single hiker. I'm the only one out here so far. I've heard some people way off in the distance, but have not come across any wildlife other than the two mama grouses and their babies. So it's pretty much been uneventful, but the scenery is remarkable, and just highly recommend this trail. Made it up to Lake Kontrashibuna. I hope I pronounced that right, but it's beautiful. I knew it was going to be, and so I had to get up to this point. So this is the 5.5 mile round tripper. I ran into a couple, and they were from Wisconsin, and so that's all I've seen all day, and a couple grouses. So no bears, but this is absolutely beautiful alpine lake. And look at the mountains with the snow caps and this view. It's moving and it's super clear. You can see all the way to the bottom. It's glacial melt from up in those mountains, and super cold. I touched it. It's really cold, but this water is moving because it's going to move down and then go through that the Tanalian Falls. So this is absolutely beautiful. Gonna have my little lunch here. Just enjoy this view. Just take it all in. And this is my final destination. Then I'll go head back and go to Beaver Pond Loop and then back into town. But this is absolutely beautiful, gorgeous scenery here at Lake Clark National Park. This is Lake Kontrashibuna, and it's 12.3 miles long. So it's a very large lake, alpine lake up here. And it has a depth of over 1,000 feet deep. So it's a very deep lake as well. It's a glacial carve. So once you get to a certain point up here, there's a couple canoes that people can use to go out onto the lake. I'm not doing that today. It's just me. It'd be hard to paddle a canoe, but it's absolutely gorgeous. This is like postcard perfect. And it's definitely, if you make it to the falls, it's not that much further to get this view, and it's just really pretty. Just to come in and take it in, look at the reflections on the water, and it's just so nice. The water's so clear, it's so beautiful. And if there's more than one of you, then consider taking one of these canoes. There's also like a little fire pit here and some logs that you can have your lunch. So this is definitely a destination point if you make it this far. It's so pretty. It's not really a swimming lake because that's so cold unless you want to brave it, but not for me today. Just really pretty. to the fork in the trail that is for the Beaver Pond Trail. So I'm gonna take this the rest of the way back. It's about 2 miles down, and it's gonna hug the Beaver Pond area. So we're gonna check that out as well on our way back. Made it to Beaver Pond on my way back, and it reflects nice the mountain off in the distance, and getting back towards town. And so Beaver Pond's definitely a place that you want to stop at. It's really pretty. The Park Service has put in a bench here that kind of sits above Beaver Pond, and you can kind of take in the views. There's one of the flight scene planes that's taking people up into the hills to see some of those lakes, and is maybe coming back in now to Port Alsworth. And so I'm just gonna walk down here real quick down to Beaver Pond and check it out. Yeah, I did notice that the mosquitoes are increased down here by the water. Oops, squishy. Yeah, it's kind of tundra-y, but that's Beaver Pond. And I have to check out my map to make sure I'm going the right direction. My journey and adventure here at Lake Clark National Park here at Port Alsworth, Alaska. Getting ready to take my flight back over to Anchorage and then back home. But if you enjoyed your adventure with me today, please hit the like button down below, and please subscribe to our channel and watch us go to all of the national parks here in the United States. This was park number 61 for me, so it was a great park. We had a pretty good day, and the hikes were pretty adventurous and great scenic views here in Alaska. So whatever you're doing today, get out to the great outdoors and do something that makes you smile.
plane ride was so much fun. The scenery was so beautiful. I just couldn't stop staring at it. Couldn't stop taking pictures. I don't know how I'm gonna edit this all down, but it was amazing. Best trip ever in Alaska. One of my favorite parks now. But that was a good pilot. Had him both ways, and that was so much fun.